Right, good evening, everyone. I'll just give it another minute or so we can all gather in. All right, so welcome everyone. This is our ongoing monthly meeting for the Mickey Zane Place, or formerly the Hotel Lazura. We have with us from the county, your supervisor, Chris Coursey from 3rd District. We have Paul Osmondson and Tina Rivera and myself from the Community Development Commission. Tina is our Assistant Director, and Paul is our Project Lead for the Project Homekey acquisitions, including the one at Mickey Zane Place. And we have Michelle from DEMA, who operates the site, and of course myself from the county. And with that, I'll turn it over to Supervisor Coursey to say a few words before we get started.
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. This commitment was made before I became a supervisor to meet with neighbors and other concerned citizens about this new project that is something new for the state of California, for the county of Sonoma, and obviously for your neighborhood. I'm glad to take part. Looking forward to hearing what you all have to say, what your experience is with this project, and here to listen. Thanks.
And Michelle, before we get started, is there an update on the project and how many people we?
Yeah, as of right now, well, as of probably by end of day tomorrow, there will be 40 residents that will be moved into the site. Operations continue to run very smoothly from our side and from all sides. And we've got some new projects coming in as for the residents that are living there right now that will be implemented and started this week. AA is actually going to be doing meetings there for anybody who'd like to be involved in that in a private confidential area, and some other great programs that have been implemented. So everything is going well.
All right, great. And Paul, is there any update to that would be that we can share on anything related to construction or where we are in progress with that?
Sure. We've submitted for a building permit to PRMD, to the county, for the exterior wall, the gates, fencing, so the security. And there's also going to be a outdoor activity area and pet area inside the former swimming pool. So we filed for permit with the county, expect to get that fairly soon, and we should start construction on that within the next we're estimating within the next 30 days.
Great. And I think that's it for our updates. If you have any questions, you can use the raise hand feature on Zoom, and I should be able to tell, and I'll call you.
Actually, I have a question. Let me turn off my phone. Michelle, can you tell us when, what time, and what day AA meetings will be held?
I believe that it is going to be on Mondays. Did she give you time? Actually, I do not know the time, but I can find out the details and let you know. But I know that it is starting this Monday.
Okay, it'd be good to have that out there. It's for a lot of people, that's a lifeline and an asset to the neighborhood.
Absolutely, agree.
Do we have any other questions? See Denise here. Go ahead, Christine.
Yeah, I don't see the hand raising thing there. So I was just wondering what the COVID status is there at the facility with staff and residents.
We have never at any one of my sites had a single COVID case at
Excellent.
the NCS sites. We had one that was in the hospital that got it in the hospital and quarantined at the ACS. So there's never been a person that has been at any of the sites, including the Azura, that has had COVID.
How many staff are there?
I run a staff matrix of about 6 personnel per shift. Besides the nighttime, the knock evening is run by 2 medical professionals, either a combination of paramedic EMTs or a nurse and an EMT, to ensure that all residents have emergency and urgent access if there's any medical needs throughout the evening. And that starts from 11 to 7. The rest of my shifts during the day and PMs are all ran by a staff of 6. We have our site administrator, which I have one on site pretty much at all times till 11 o'clock at night. And then in addition to that, I have 2 medical professionals, which is always a registered nurse during the day, along with an EMT or a paramedic or an emergency room technician on site as well. And then we have what we call 2 guest services that are caretakers. Most of my guest services and caretaker staff usually have some type of CNA experience in their background as well. And those staff are there to assist all of the residents with any of their daily or activity of daily needs and their activities, such as carrying groceries, things they might not be able to do due to mobility issues. So they're there to assist them with that.
Do some of the residents have cars?
Yes, they do.
They do, so they can
Yes.
go out and get food or whatever.
Yes.
How are meals handled there?
So
During
right
COVID?
now we have a caterer that is a vendor and contracted with the county that delivers 3 meals a day.
Wow. Okay.
And there aren't a lot of us, so if you'd like to ask a question, feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hi, I don't, my question is, something on everyone's mind right now is the vaccination rollout in the county. And I was wondering, because of the residential situation of a lot of people being at the Mickey Zane Center, is there any thought about vaccinating everyone there to protect, because rather than going by age? I mean, this isn't a hostile question. I would actually like to see them vaccinated just because, people are concentrated there, and I don't know, until, if how the ventilation in the building works right now, so just what is the thinking about vaccinating the residents?
Yes, I'll hop in there, and I know there's a priority matrix with respect to the vaccines. So, there will come a time when individuals at this site, as well as all of the others, will have their turn at vaccinations. As a matter of fact, Michelle and her organization assist us in the vaccination efforts. So, that will be a coordinated effort. And when it's their turn, we will coordinate that and ensure that all residents are vaccinated when it's their turn.
And I'll jump in here too, to Thomas's question. And it's a good question. It's, what I've been finding out, and I'm learning about vaccines like we all are right now, but our health services department has, some real experts in epidemiology, in vaccines, in infectious disease. And they've come up with a plan to use our limited supply, and we do have a limited supply of vaccine, to get the most vulnerable and most at-risk people first. And, we're not going to forget, they're not going to forget people in shelters and these non-congregate settings. They are in the queue, but we haven't got there yet. And the only reason we haven't got there yet is, one, we don't have enough to do as many as we want yet. Not enough vaccines to do as many as we want. And number two, there are other people who are more at risk to themselves and pose more of a risk to the community because of their jobs by getting the disease. So I trust the experts that we have working for the county to figure this out and do it in a coordinated and well thought out way. But we will get there for sure. By the way, Mr. Drain, have you had a vaccine yet?
Actually, I'm using my spouse's computer, but he's 80. He just got his through Sutter. And we're in Kaiser though, but you know, wherever, any port in a storm right now.
Yeah, yep. Well, I hope you can get yours first or soon. So you and your partner are a vaccinated household. That's a good thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're all hoping that we'll be vaccinated soon. I know that there was that little blip last weekend and we had neighbors in their 60s who got vaccinated and we were on board with that and couldn't do it. So looking forward to that change when we drop below 75. I have two questions.
Thanks for calling it a little blip, Denise.
I have two questions. The first one is Barbie no longer going to be on these calls?
Yes, she will. She is caught up in another meeting. She had a briefing and then also is having to prepare for another briefing first thing in the morning. So that's the only reason she has missed out on this particular meeting, but absolutely, you can count on her being on these calls. These are important to her.
All right. And then I had asked after the last meeting, last month's meeting, if we couldn't get Michelle to share her bio with us so we all know what the background is and what she used to do, what her current company, how long it's been in business and all that good stuff. If we could get a little more information.
Well, Michelle, you want to share about yourself?
Yeah, okay, absolutely. I'm kind of modest, but so I've been in medicine for over 20 years. I started off as an EMT and then I became a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for over 20 years. I've done all critical care work in my background. I'm open heart certified, lung transplants. I've done cath lab. I've done neurointervention. Ran stroke departments. I run emergency rooms and cath labs in supervisory positions. I've also been a house supervisor for a large hospital in Santa Clara County. In addition, I've done a lot of FEMA and disaster work. I've done a lot of FEMA training. I've been to Alabama a few times. So I'm pretty much certified in disaster work. I was also the person in Sonoma County during the Tubbs fire that as a community member set up the medical clinics at the Petaluma Fairgrounds and ran that for about 6 weeks. And then I returned as a community member, came back and did the exact same thing for the Kincaid fire. After that, I was sitting down one night with my partner and we were discussing a need in Sonoma County that we needed more of an acute response for medical care within our county, because lots of times during disasters, it takes a good time for the nonprofit organizations, everything to come together, 3 or 4 days to get out to the evacuation sites. And so I was just having a conversation and my wife turned to me and said, so do it. So I did. So I started getting out there. I did some independent contracting with Petaluma Health Center at the beginning of the COVID response as their site coordinator to run the site for them. And then as the contracts changed, our company was established and we proceeded to get the contract for the ACS, and we've just continued to grow as a company. I thought that I was going to have 20 employees. And that's what I convinced my wife we were going to have. We now have 136. So we also have a nonprofit side to our organization that is becoming established at this time as well. And we have a lot of goals on wanting to assist our community, not only in disasters, but in every day within our community, especially the homeless population that we have big hearts for. So that is kind of my background in a gist. I could tell you all a bunch more about me and probably bore you to death.
Well, thank you for that. And another question I had, and then I'll relinquish to somebody else here, is are the stats, how many people are actually at the hotel, and how many new people, how many people leave, how many new people come in? Are they going to be posted on the city or the county's webpage on this project?
The staff
Stats.
stats.
The-
Oh,
Yeah, the data.
I'm gonna give that to Tina.
Yeah, Rohish can probably speak to, the website posting and things of that nature.
Yeah,
With
I
respect to
know.
Homekey.
Yeah, we have an interest in putting that up, and we will be working on it. Yeah, that will be a future update, to answer your question. It's something we're interested in sharing. Next question we have is from Sue. And go ahead, Sue.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
I drove by today. We own a little office building a block away from the Zane Center. And there's a huge pile of what appears to be homeless possessions on Healdsburg Avenue. I called Catholic Charities about a huge pile of homeless possessions left in front of our building about a month ago, and they said, just throw it out. Is that, I don't know where your responsibility is on the periphery. It's out of your line of sight. You probably didn't even know it was out there. I don't know if I should call you, if somebody left their stuff and went into the building. I don't know. What would you suggest for the neighborhood to do?
Well, just out of curiosity, I have a question for some clarification. Where exactly were these belongings located at? Were they
On
down
Heel-
the street on Healdsburg? Okay.
On Healdsburg Avenue, right against your stucco wall there of your
On-
building.
On the outside of so Healdsburg is going. this
Yeah.
way. Okay.
On the outside, it's on the public sidewalk.
I
You know,
don't
it's not-
believe those belong to any of our residents.
Okay.
Our staff assist them when they unpack at all times. And then we bring in all of their belongings for them. I could not imagine that those were left there by any of the residents that are staying at the Azura. I can, however, if they are still there, ask my staff to check on those outside of the building.
Okay,
And maybe we can find a place that they can be donated or who they belong to if it's somebody else that may be homeless down the street.
okay. It was one time I found an entire satchel that had passports. You know, if I had thrown it out, it would be very upsetting to somebody. So I don't want to go through other people's belongings, but from time to time, things get left on the street. And it's very close to your building, so I just thought it might be affiliated. And I don't know where your responsibility starts and stops.
So
Thank
can I
you.
just add something here? And I'm sorry about my light. I feel like I'm in a horror movie right now, but just my light went out. So I'd appreciate, Michelle, if you can have your staff just police up around the area. I know that the sidewalk outside of the property is not your responsibility, but if you're willing to do that, that would be great. And for Ms. Bolt, when there's trash in public places in Santa Rosa, there's a really good app you can download on your phone called My Santa Rosa.
Oh, okay.
Sorry?
And are they pretty responsive?
They are pretty responsive, yes.
Okay.
So, and you can, take a picture of what's there. You can show them on a map where it is. I've found them to be very responsive now. That may be because I used it when I was the mayor and they
Yeah.
were,
That could do it.
but I've also advised other people to do it and have gotten pretty good reviews for it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Michelle, this is Paul. If you want to have AJ, the exterior janitorial, do a sweep around, we can do that as well. Meaning, if your staff can do it, but if it's a large volume, we've got them available to haul things off if it's actually trash. And
Yeah, I'll have my staff go out with a security guard and just check to see what it is out there.
Okay.
And then if it's large, Paul, I'll let you know. And when they come out, they can remove it.
If you have a question, you can either mute yourself, or if you right click, you should be able to raise your hand and I can call it. Go ahead, Christine.
Yeah, another question. Just wondering what sort of social and recreational opportunities, I mean, that's a hard thing nowadays, but besides AA meetings, are there any other opportunities?
Well, that is one of my favorite questions. That is one thing that our team is very big on, especially our guest services, not only providing the medical, but giving recreation, giving programs and the tools to succeed in life, allowing them to participate if they want to. And I will tell you, we have a phenomenal participation rate. We had a great Christmas this year where they wrote over 250 Christmas cards and gave them out to different charities that were then dispersed to some of the other shelters within the county. It was pretty cool. We partnered with Una Vida, and those cards were written by the residents. And they enjoyed doing that. We have a book club that has been implemented. We've built book libraries where they can exchange books and utilize those. We have one at every one of our sites, and the Azura one as well. We are just starting our garden box project is just now getting underway. This allows for enhancing skills both manually and intellectually, and it allows them to enjoy doing things that they can actually see a good ending to once the weather gets a little bit better. Those boxes will be utilized for garden therapy, which we do have that program. It's a little hard to do right now with the weather, since it's blown my lovely umbrella over 3 times. And they're also partnering with a group here in Petaluma for a young boy that is a pediatric patient with leukemia who loves to receive mail. So every resident is writing him a card. So we try to we have our bingo every Thursday. We have our town hall meeting. I believe that one takes place on Friday, where they have pizza, they social distance. It allows them to give feedback on what they like and what they don't like, so that our staff and myself and all of us can take that into consideration. And then I can't remember anything else. Oh, I know that they're trying to get a exercise program in as well. And we are getting somebody that can come out and teach those, that will be designed specifically for their age groups or their mobility.
Yeah, they're gonna be changing. Then I also wanted to mention Michelle's and her staff had implemented painting therapy.
Oh,
They
yes.
began that over at the Astro site. And then, of course, once the weather is clear, they were able to do that doing social distancing when the weather was nice over at the Astro. And the residents really enjoyed that. So I know they'll look forward to doing some of that here at Mickey Zane Places.
Yes. Yeah, we have our art therapy that we use. I wanted to mention one more thing also that our company likes to promote at these sites is we promote a vocational skill level. I actually have now employed 2 of the Azura residents that work at different sites and work for our company.
Wow.
So we do it on a minimal basis. They have 4-hour shifts that's tolerated for themselves. And then we do kind of a probationary, as they are paid though, and they're earning money for themselves. And we do that at our different sites, so they are not amongst the same people that they are living with. So we have now employed 2. 2 are working for us.
In the future, do you anticipate being able to use volunteers?
At the sites, always up for volunteers. We help with the vaccination.
I'll be
clinics.
volunteering when it's safe to do so. I just live down the street.
I would absolutely love it. We would love to get more of the community members that live in the neighborhood once COVID is kind of doing much better, to kind of socialize and get to know each other. We have a great group of people that are living there right now.
That's great. I used to run groups at the living room.
Oh,
Uh,
fantastic.
I'm a retired clinical social worker, so I can do self-esteem groups or, lots of different things. So I
Oh,
look
I
forward
love it.
to it. The call I had to take while we were talking was verifying that I'll be in Fairfield tomorrow for my first COVID shot. So I figured I'd go to the first place that offered it to me. My brother's group home is gonna let me get it. So anyway, I look forward to being able to help out any way I can.
As do I. Thank you so much. I look forward to it as well.
We have a question in the chat. Do you accept book donations? I assume that's for you, Michelle.
No.
Yes, we do.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, good.
Yes, we do. All the books that we have there right now have been donated by local sources and charities. If you want to do that, I can definitely get you in touch with my programs manager to reach out and contact you and set something up. So if you're interested in anything like that, just please email me.
And I'll put Michelle's email in the chat.
Oh, good. I was just gonna say, can you put her email address in the chat?
Yeah, you guys don't have to guess. Thank you.
Oh, it's not up yet.
I have a question for Paul. We saw some drawings on our first meeting, I think that back in December, for what the exterior of the area that's going to be surrounded by the wall and some other details. And I don't think there was ever any final information on what that wall is going to be. Is it going to be stucco? Is it going to be a mural? What is the decision at this point?
The current design is a solid wall, stucco, but then planted with vines so that it won't get, it'll be less susceptible to tagging. So it's, I think I can get I might be able to pull up the drawings right now and share them. If you give me a second. I don't know if they'll be that, I don't know if we have an elevation that would really describe it that well, but I'll work on that and I can, make it available. If you don't mind, we could post it to the website or we could share it at the next meeting.
That would be great if you could do both.
Yeah, I think we can do that. All right. Anyone else have a question? You can right click and use your raise hand feature or unmute yourself and speak. Go ahead.
I realized that through the last few meetings that you've explained this process, but I was focusing on other issues at the time. How do you initially engage with a homeless person as a potential resident? Do they come to you, or is it coordinated with other services? I'm just really curious because, well, I'll say there's a background question is, in our neighborhood, we have a few people who've been, pretty steady homeless people, in our neighborhood. And I just thought it would be nice if maybe some of them could find housing at the Mickey Zane Center. Again, if they wanted to, if they fit the right profile of the people you're looking for. But I live on B Street, and just a block up is the center. And then I haven't been outside for a while, but down at the St. Rose Parish building, there's a little outdoor sort of patio stoop. And there used to be a number of 2 or 3 homeless young men, I think. And again, I thought, at each end of the block, there's a home, a place, a residence, and then there's homeless. And again, I just thought it would be a nice thing if some of the homeless in our neighborhood might be at least considered as future residents.
Well, these individuals, as we had shared, are COVID vulnerable
Right.
with respect to the Homekey grant.
Mhm.
They are individuals who are 65 and older or who have at-risk medical conditions.
Right.
And so individuals have been in our programs since the beginning of the COVID pandemic. And so they've come through a number of ways, whether it be through FQHCs, they've been vetted through our Access IMDT, which is our multidisciplinary team that works with all of our several different departments within the county who have come together and they vet these individuals. So they do active field outreach. So I can say that the IMDT team, it goes out regularly. If you know these individuals or know their names, I would encourage you you can give those names or give those individuals to Michelle. She can ensure that our IMDT outreach team outreaches to these individuals so that we can connect them to services, and they'll work with them. Get them engaged in services, get them involved in housing opportunities, et cetera. They may not necessarily start off at this particular location, but we can get them engaged and housed in some of the other available housing opportunities that we do have. So, but be sure and reach, if you know them, if you know where they're located, just be sure and let Michelle know, and she knows how to reach out to our team. And we can get our outreach team out there too.
Tina, can you tell us what that acronym, was it IMDT, what it stands for?
Yes, interdisciplinary, interdepartmental, multidisciplinary team. Long name. And it's a group of individuals. They're social workers, they're housing navigators, they're individuals who work with probation. They're a group of professionals within our county that come together to holistically wrap services around an individual to meet whatever the need may be with respect to that person. So,
And this is different than host or HEAP?
correct, yes.
Okay, how do we contact them?
Well, you actually can just send those individual names to Michelle, but we'll actually, it's Joe Hedigus is our IMDT manager now. Actually, he used to work for Host years ago, but we've scooped him up for the Department of Health. And then we have Will Gajowski is our also a manager with respect to that team. So, but the simplest way right now is if you would just reach out to Michelle and we can get our team connected. But they are constantly in the field, have been working with the homeless population for a number of years. And many of our social workers and outreach workers know these individuals by first name. So it would be great to continue to, have you connect them with them. So
Thank you.
absolutely.
This is Paul. I found the drawings if you want me to share them.
Yeah, go ahead. Be able to share it.
So this is looking at the corner of Lincoln and Healdsburg. So that's the entrance to the current entrance to the motel. There's going to be a right by there'll be a gate here that'll be only accessible with a room key to the residence. This is a vehicle gate. Then the wall will be 6 feet high. As I said, a masonry wall with stucco, and it'll be planted so that it will be less susceptible to tagging. We're going to be planting a pretty large row of trees along that side of the parking lot. And then this area here on the corner, we're working with Creative Sonoma to do some type of an art installation. And so that's basically, if I'll scroll over to the right a little bit. This is the vehicle exit, and there'll be another card key entry for residents, and this will all be secure with cameras. So essentially, the only people that can get into the property will be residents. And if you're a guest or visitor, you have to check in at the front desk where the hotel check-in desk used to be. And then we're adding a door on this back side of the building so that guests would go through here and the site will be secure.
And Paul, just by way of managing expectations, you're gonna plant trees that grow large, but you're not gonna plant trees that large. They won't.
No,
like-
this is in the future. They'll be fairly robust, but they won't be that big when we plant them. And I can show you a couple other aspects. This is inside the parking lot, looking towards the east, I guess it would be. That's the new entrance. This is the vehicle gate, and then that's the row of trees. We're going to maintain the parking. We were going to have an option of having some outdoor seating for the residents, but we think we need all of the parking spaces for the residents and guests. That's it.
Looks good.
Thanks. And we'll be able to make that available on our website, and we'll send it out as well when I send the video, the recording of this meeting.
So I just wanted to give you guys a quick follow-up. My site administrator is actually incognito somewhere on this meeting, because she lives around there, and she has already talked to the staff at the Azura. They're investigating the pile of stuff that is outside on Healdsburg as we speak.
Thank you, Michelle. All right. Do we have any other questions?
So folks, I'm going to have to jump off this call in just a couple minutes. I don't know, sounds like it's winding down a little bit anyway, but I did want to just thank all of you who are still engaged with this. I know there's been a lot of concerns, what's going to happen here, what might happen here. It sounds like things are going pretty well. I'm going to assume that from just the nature of this conversation. We're going to keep having these conversations as long as you need to have them. And I just, again, thanks for staying engaged. Even if there's no particular issue that you have, it's great to have people interested in this project, offering to volunteer, bring by books and those kind of things. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Supervisor Coursey. All right.
I just
Go ahead.
wanted to say that I took notes, and I'll pass these on to Eric Frazier. He had another meeting tonight, so I'll make sure that he gets this information and gets it out to the whole Cherry Street organization.
Much appreciated.
All right, I'm going to jump off. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor
Supervisor.
Coursey.
Thank you.
Right. Anyone else have a question? Right, I don't see any hands up or anyone unmuting themselves, and so I'll assume that we're nearing the end, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us. We appreciate your presence, your questions.
Mhm.
We're always happy to offer answers when, if we have the information, and share what we can when it's available. We will follow up. I'll send a recording of this meeting as usual. I'll include the drawings that Paul just shared. We'll also work on getting that information out on the website. As usual, those of you who have my email can email me directly. I can put that in the chat as well. Or you can email Homekey, and I'll put that in the chat as well. Tina, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just personally like to say thank you, that because, I live here in Santa Rosa. This is my home. And, you know, it takes a village, you know, and I just appreciate all of your engagement and, you know, it takes us working together, you know, to make something successful and us coming together to be good neighbors. And so we want to be good neighbors, you know, so I just appreciate you, you know, I appreciate all of your interest. I appreciate your concern, because that's important too. You know, it's important that we hear all sides and that we appropriately, you know, address those concerns, and that, you know, we do what we can to, you know, just coordinate with one another, lift one another up. And because, you know, we all want the same thing, you know, we want success and peace for one another. So I just want to say that I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you again next month.
Thank
Hi,
you.
everybody.
I know.